What if I told you success in gaming isn't just about polish or marketing, sometimes it's just about perfect timing. From quiet indie hits to major studio blockbusters, these 10 games didn't just land, they exploded because the world was ready for them. Stick around to find out which ones nailed their moments in the top 10 video games that blew up just at the right time. So let's start off with number 1. Among Us. So this game sat in a dark room for 2 years. There was no hype, no marketing budget, no buzz, nothing. Then 2020 hit, COVID. And then the lockdowns began, and then suddenly Among Us was the only thing that anyone actually played. With everybody stuck inside, streamers like XQC, Disguised Toast, and Valkyrie turned this quirky indie game into a global pastime. So, what was this peak moment? It was when 438,000 players on Steam at the same time was playing the game. It was the most watched game on Twitch. Sus became real life slang, and even got teachers making lesson plans around crewmates and imposters. And it didn't stop there. You had the airship map, the role updates, and the launch of Among Us in VR in 2022, which brought new life to the game itself. Suddenly, stabbing your friends in 3D became a whole new experience. Who would have thought? Among Us blew up because it hit right when we needed social chaos, because we were all locked inside, and they kept the party going long after that even happened. But while Among Us was giving us digital backstabs, another game was about to flip the entire industry on its head by building an empire on dancing and destruction. And that game is number 2. Fortnite. It didn't just walk into the spotlight, it teleported in. Originally a PvE tower defense game that barely anybody played, who would have thought that given how it is now, Fortnite pivoted to the Battle Royale genre just as Players Unknown Battlegrounds was heating up, but it did it bigger, smoother, and for free. The result? A cultural explosion. Ninja streaming with Drake. Everyone was flossing, crossovers, drops from Marvel, Star Wars, Stranger Things. All those things were happening. You name it, Dragon Ball Z, it's already in there. What was his peak moment? 350 million registered users and 12.3 million players watched the Travis Scott concert live in-game. That's publicity if I didn't even see one. Fortnite never stopped evolving either, which is one of its key features to why people still play it. It has this chapter system with seasonal content, live events, creative mode, and most recently, Lego Fortnite and the Fortnite Festival. These things here keeps players coming back year after year. Fortnite blew up at the perfect moment and kept leveling up with each new season that it was presented with. But not every moment is about chaos. Some things are a bit more common. And just when the world got loud and scary, a quiet little game about islands and turnips took it by storm. And that is number 3, which is Animal Crossing New Horizons. This game didn't just launch, it landed like a warm hug we all needed. Animal Crossing New Horizons came out the exact week the world went into lockdown. If you can remember that. Suddenly we couldn't visit friends in real life, but we could decorate our islands and go fishing together. So that's just as good, right? Its peak moment, over 11 million units sold in 11 days.
You're a fucking idiot.
People were hosting weddings, birthdays, and even therapy sessions inside the game itself. Celebrities like Elijah Wood were visiting strangers' islands. Nintendo kept the experience fresh with this. Free seasonal updates like Bunny Day, Halloween, and Toy Day. And the major paid DLC, Happy Home Paradise, which is what I'm showing you right now, which added vacation home designs and new gameplay mechanics, which is pretty cool. But this game wasn't just a hit, it became the emotional support game of an entire generation of people. Right place, right time, right vibe. But if Animal Crossing was comfort, the next game was chaotic nightmare fuel. I think you might know what game I'm referring to. And YouTube couldn't get enough of it. So it is number 4, which is Five Nights at Freddy's. One developer, one game, and one massive wave of screaming YouTubers. Five Nights at Freddy dropped in 2014. Right as Let's Plays were becoming a cultural force, just like how this channel was trying to become a cultural force, like, comment, and subscribe for that one. Its creepy minimalist style and jump scares made it perfect for reaction videos. Its peak moment? The original game inspired over 30 million YouTube views in under a week when it came out. By the end of the year, it had its own franchise underway. The lore was deep, the fans were obsessed, and the screams came a lot. And the updates came just as fast. Help Wanted brought the horror into VR. The security breach ruin, which is what this gameplay is, added new areas and scares, and there's still more on the way, as of this writing. Friday Nights at Freddy's wasn't just a game, it was a story machine, a community, and a cultural firestorm, all wrapped up in a very scary looking game. And while Freddy was stalking players in the dark, the next title on our list would get people off the couches and out into the real world by chasing Pikachu down the street. And so you can guess what game this is, which is number 5. Pokémon GO. Picture this, July 2016. A long time ago, I know. Sudden, millions of people are walking through parks, museums, and the city streets, just staring at the phones. Pokémon GO didn't just launch, it rewired the entire world overnight. In this peak moment, 28.5 million daily US users in its first month alone. That's more than Twitter at the time. It dropped just as smartphones had reliable GPS and augmented reality, AR, technology. Everyone from college students to grandparents was chasing Pikachu, Abra, Onix, and everyone else in between. And it stayed alive with really smart city updates, such as raid battles, shiny Pokemon, and P versus P trainer battles, or player versus player. Community days every month to spotlight new Pokemon, and huge seasonal events like the Pokemon GO Fest, or the Pokemon GO Tour. All these helped it remain a cultural classic. What started out as a nostalgia hit for those born in the 90s or raised in the 90s became a global movement, helping people exercise, socialize, and explore their cities. But while Pokemon GO got people outdoors, our next title, at number 6, took a totally different route, blowing up with dark humor, edgy mechanics, and perfect streaming timing. And that is number 6, which is Schedule 1. In a world tired of cookie-cutter sims, Schedule 1 came in like a weed-fueled fever dream. Launched in March of 2025, it had zero competition, just open space for something bold to come capture people's attention. So, you play as a sketchy entrepreneur running a cartoonish over-the-top drug empire. And streamers, they loved it. TikTok exploded with clips of players crafting LSD gummies, dodging curfews, and upgrading their underground lab. Its peak moment, number 1 on Steam global charts in 72 hours, with 2 million players in week 1. Even in early access, the dev kept momentum going with weekly patches, new ingredients, crafting systems, and co-op support. It hit a nerve that people wanted to indulge in. In a market flooded with polished but safe titles, Scheduled 1 delivered cutting-edge, edgy, chaotic, and comedy all wrapped up in one, just when players were begging for something different. Now, if edgy drug tycoons running around doing things which are a bit illegal in modern day society isn't your thing, maybe building pixel castles with your friends is. Up next, the game that never stopped growing, and even has a movie now, with Jack Black. And that is number 7. Minecraft! So, this game didn't just explode overnight. It was a slow burn that turned into a supernova. Speaking of which, I'm sure someone actually made a supernova in this game, considering all the stuff people make in this game. Anyway, when it was first released in 2009, it was a humble block builder, but as YouTubers like Captain Sparkles, Guy Does Minecraft, and Stampy started crafting massive worlds, the game turned into a global movement. Its peak moment, over 140 million active players by 2021, and in 300 million copies sold by 2023 alone. Crazy work. But Minecraft didn't just stop there. It didn't stop evolving. It had massive free updates like Caves and Cliffs, and the Wild, which added new mobs, new mechanics, and new biomes, and also had Minecraft Dungeons, which expanded the brand into an action RPG territory. The Education Edition brought into the classroom, which is something else entirely. Minecraft didn't just blow up, it rewrote how people think about games. It's a platform, it's a learning tool, and a creative outlet all in one. But, one thing I did mention is that it also has a movie, starring Jack Black. But if Minecraft was about slow, steady creativity, maybe not in this part, because this part seems really cool, the next title was about the complete opposite. Fast, brutal, and a challenge people couldn't stop bragging about, because when the difficulty level goes up, a lot of people tend to leave. And that is with number 8, which is Elden Ring. From Software had already built a hardcore following with Dark Souls and other games. But Elden Ring, it broke the walls down completely. When it launched in 2022, it felt like every game on Earth had dropped into the lands between. It was a massive, open-ended, and sometimes terrifying game, and players loved it. I played a little bit myself, and the game is quite difficult. But then again, it is from software. Its peak moment, it had nearly 1 million concurrent players on Steam at launch. It was the third highest ever ranking game at the time. Elden Ring became a meme factory. You're maidenless. Let me solo her. And boss fights that took days to beat all flooded YouTube and Reddit. And in 2024, FromSoft dropped a massive DLC, Shadow of the Erdtree, with 10 new bosses and an entire new region to play with. Critics effectively called it a sequel, but in DLC form. It blew up at a time where gamers were starved for mystery, difficulty, and depth. Clearly, they've already finished Neo and also Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, and needed a little bit more to work with. And all that was given effectively on a golden horse, which was this game right here. And so just when everyone was chasing runes and dragons and fighting beetles like this, the next game brought the internet back to something a bit more simpler, falling over and failing miserably, with number 9, Fall Guys. Jelly Bean Chaos is the best way to describe this game right here. Fall Guys launched in August of 2020, just as people were creating some lighthearted fun and still getting used to the COVID lockdowns. And it was a free game for PlayStation Plus users. Its peak moment was 7 million copies sold in just 3 weeks, and it was the most downloaded PlayStation Store game at the time. The silly Wipeout style races became an instant hit on Twitch and on TikTok, and you can see why. It's quacky, it's crazy, it's funny, and as it looks like, it's fun to watch. It was easy to pick up, fun to fail, and hilarious to watch. But Fall Guys didn't just stop with the launch itself. Over time, it added a few things, like new game modes and obstacle courses, like you see here. Crossover skins from Sonic, Doom, Cuphead, and even Godzilla showed up in this as well. Pretty much like how Fortnite did the same thing. A fully free-to-play relaunch with Fall Guys Creative, letting players build and share their own custom levels with each other. This game is colorful, it's chaotic, and exactly what people needed at the time. And even now, a lot of people still play this game because it's just so much fun. And this is a game was a mess you didn't mind falling into from time to time because it's just a fun game to play. But while Fall Guys brought the laughs, our final game brought the long haul. An epic classic that never left the spotlight even now as we await the next game in the franchise, which is number 10, Grand Theft Auto 5. This game, well, it defined a whole generation, and it's still going 10 years later. Rockstar timed it perfectly. This game just dropped before the PS4 Xbox One era, then released it again for next-gen consoles, and then it gave it 3 separate lifespans just off the base of that. Right now you're seeing the first-person mode right here, which is an enhancement. Its peak moment, 195 million copies sold by 2025, and still pulls in over $1 billion a year through GTA Online alone. That is crazy work. Why? It exploded because it gave players endless freedom. You can drive anywhere, rob, fly, troll, do whatever you want. But the secret to its longevity? The updates. While this is a single-player walkthrough game, you have other things that you can do. Like Heist in 2015, squad-based robberies that changed the meta on how the game works, Diamond Casino and Resort, Los Santos Tuners and the Contract with Dr. Dre, Money Fronts in 2025, which is the latest update, adding story-driven co-op expansions. GTA Online helped make GTA 5 more than just a game. It became a lifestyle. Role-playing, real estate, music premieres, basically a virtual Second Life. Better than the actual game, called Second Life. GTA 5 blew up because it gave players the one thing they wanted, freedom to play however they wanted. And Rockstar kept reinventing that freedom year after year. Now, will GTA 6 live up to the hype? Well, we'll find out. And when that game does come out, come back to this channel and I'll tell you all about it. So, each one of these games didn't just launch at the right time, they seized their moment. Whether it was a global pandemic that caused it to be good, a viral streamer moment, or just a cultural vibe like GTA 5, These titles blew up and built worlds we still live in today. Which game's timing do you think was perfect? Do you think my ranking was the best, or would you have done something different? Drop your picks in the comments below, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and ring that bell so when the next video comes out, you'll be one of the first to see it. So, with that being said, catch you guys in the next one. See you later.